Hey Dad, today I want to talk about the 10th Amendment, the one that draws the boundary lines in our federal system. Its message is simple. If the Constitution didn't give a power to the federal government, the power belongs to the states or to the people. It's the founders' reminder that the federal government was never meant to be everywhere, doing everything all at once. The 10th Amendment is the guardrail that keeps authority close to the communities it affects. Close to local voters, close to local law enforcement, close to local courts, close to the people who feel the consequences. And Dad, that principle matters a lot today. The 10th Amendment is about scale and who gets to decide. When the founders wrote this amendment, they were thinking about one core danger: a federal government powerful enough to override the will of states and the rights of local communities. They knew that when authority becomes too centralized, the people closest to events lose their say in how those events are handled. So the 10th Amendment is basically them saying, keep government powers as local as possible. Push decisions downward, not upward. Let the people closest to the problem shape the solution. But what happens when the federal government moves with such force and speed that states and local authorities find themselves boxed out? That's the question that keeps coming up today. Where this tension is showing up now across the country during large-scale federal enforcement actions, states and local communities have reported the same issues. 1. Federal operations conducted without local coordination. Local police chiefs, sheriffs, and city officials in multiple regions have said they were not briefed before federal raids occurred. Not told when or where operations would take place, not given information about agents deployed in their jurisdiction. That's a 10th Amendment tension. States have a constitutional interest in maintaining safety and order within their borders, and they can't do that if they're shut out of the loop. Number 2, federal actions disrupting local policing and community trust. When uncoordinated operations spill into neighborhoods, schools, or workplaces, local police departments often report increased fear in communities, witnesses less willing to talk to officers, victims less likely to report crimes, local investigations suddenly harder to solve. That isn't theoretical. It's what happens when residents can't tell the difference between their own police department and federal enforcement they never agreed to. The founders warned about exactly this problem. When the federal government acts without local consent, the community loses faith in local authority altogether. Number 3, the most serious breakdown: blocking local investigations. And Dad, this is where the 10th Amendment becomes more than a principle. It becomes a flashpoint. After Renee Good and Alex Preddy were killed, local investigators said they were denied access to the scenes, blocked from interviewing key witnesses, prevented from examining evidence, and told the federal government alone would handle the investigation. These weren't federal facilities, these weren't federal buildings, these weren't remote jurisdictions. These incidents happened in local communities under the jurisdiction of state and municipal law enforcement. And yet local authorities, the ones elected by the people who live there, were pushed aside. Dad, this is exactly what the 10th Amendment was written to prevent: federal agencies overriding state authority in matters that belong to the state. Not because the state is always right, not because federal agents are always wrong, but because communities have a constitutional right to investigate harm done to their own residents. Why this scares me? The 10th Amendment isn't about weakening the federal government. It's about balancing it. It's about making sure national power doesn't flatten local judgment, local knowledge, and local accountability. But when federal agents operate without local coordination, federal actions disrupt state and municipal policing, and states are blocked from investigating deaths that occur within their own borders. The 10th Amendment stops feeling like a constitutional guarantee and starts feeling like a line being crossed. The founders believed that most decisions should be made at the lowest level of government possible, the level closest to the people. And right now, too many decisions with enormous local consequences are being made far away from the communities forced to live with them. Dad, here's the question I've been turning over. If the 10th Amendment reserves enumerated power to the states and the people, what does it mean when federal agencies can step into communities, use force, and then block the very state authorities who are constitutionally responsible for investigating what happened? That's not a political question, it's a structural one. A question about the architecture of our government and whether the balance between federal and state power is functioning the way the founders intended. And honestly, I think it's a question we all need to ask, especially now.